What is up, everybody? It is your boy, Pigskin Pete. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Well, Dabo's at it again. I feel like I've made too many of these videos, and I'm going to continue to make these type of videos as long as he continues to say what he's saying. This has been going on for years now. Look, I've got to be fair. All right, I attack or criticize coaches when they say or do stupid things. Most notably just recently, the whole thing with Ryan Day. You know, following that big win on the road at Notre Dame, 3 seconds after the game's over, he's out there yelling, "Where's Lou Holtz at?" Which was just silly. I called it out. On almost a weekly basis at this point, I'm calling out Shane Beamer because the guy doesn't know how to handle a loss. After every single loss in the post-game press conference, he's pointing fingers at everybody and the whole organization, and even outside of the organization, the chain gang, blaming them for losses. Instead of taking it like a man and like a professional, he's out there acting like a clown. And I think that even most South Carolina fans would agree with that. My team is Clemson. Has been for over 30 years. But no Clemson coach, including Dabo Swinney, is above criticism. As a matter of fact, if you're a two-time national championship winning coach and you're getting paid $10 and $11 million a year to win football games, you're going to get criticized. Now, how you choose to deal with that is up to you. And we all know how he chooses to deal with it. Attack the fans. Out of anybody to attack the fans. Attack the people who are paying that salary. Attack the people that save up all year long, if they're lucky, to save up enough money to travel to Clemson, South Carolina, pay a way overpriced ticket, and pay $300 or $400 for a hotel room for one night, like I've been doing for the past 20-something years every year. I've traveled all over this country. I've traveled up. Hell, I drove up there in 2015 during an actual hurricane and went and watched a football game. Probably the best football game I've ever seen in person. Experience I've ever had at a football game. Was that 2015 Notre Dame Hurricane game. But you can't take a little criticism. So if you don't know what I'm talking about here, Dabo Swinney yesterday had his weekly Monday press conference thing. And of course, like every week, he should already know this is coming. He gets asked a question about, what do you think about the fan criticism about this or that? Instead of just saying, you know what, we really love our fans, we really appreciate all of their support, but we do the things that we do around here for a reason, and we're doing what we think is the right thing, but we appreciate their support, we love our fans. That's the answer you should give. Whether you feel that way or not is irrelevant. You're a professional, man. Get a hold of yourself. No. Now, what does he do? Now, listen to this. First of all, a few years ago, when he did the whole thing, if the fans aren't happy with a win, then maybe I should go coach somewhere else, right? He said that about the NIL. He said that about the fans not being happy with a win because they didn't beat him by enough. This and that. Anytime he gets criticism, it's, well, maybe I just go somewhere else, Well, this time it's a totally different level. Now, what he said was, well, maybe we do need to lose a few games to thin out the bandwagon. Can you imagine a situation where a university is paying a coach over $10 million a year for 10 years? And he goes, maybe we need to lose a few games to thin out the bandwagon? This is insane. First of all, are there bandwagon fans for all winning teams, all great teams? I'm sure they are. But what constitutes a bandwagon, Coach Swinney? I'd like to know that. Is DJ Uiagalelei a Clemson bandwagon fan? Because I'll tell you right now, whenever he committed to Clemson, and they asked DJ, why did you commit to Clemson? He goes, well, when I was a kid, which was probably back in like 2010, 2011, 2012 time range, middle school kid. He goes, Clemson was on top of the mountain. I loved the way they played offense. I loved the fact that they were winning. DJ, living on the west coast of the country, became a fan of Clemson because of how good they were. Is DJ a bandwagon fan? You can't run around bragging constantly about how Clemson is a big brand around the country. That's why we can recruit California and Texas and Oregon and Michigan and Ohio and every other state in the union, and then call them bandwagon fans because they became a fan of you because you were winning. Now that's one thing. The second thing is to go to the lowest common denominator and just assume that anybody that criticizes anything that you do is a bandwagon fan. Let me tell you something, Coach Swinney. I've criticized you. I've also defended you. But I've criticized you over the years. I've been a Clemson fan since you were in middle school, before you even knew who Clemson was. The amount of money that my family has spent supporting this football team is astronomical. So am I a bandwagon fan for giving you a little bit of criticism? Let me tell you something. My dad is 82 years old now. My dad paid for 2 children, not me, 2 of my siblings, paid their way through Clemson College. My wife went to Clemson as well. Guess what? They've been critical of you too. Are they bandwagon fans too? I don't understand this at all. I don't understand attacking the fans. Of all the people to attack. Look, it's all fun and games when you want to attack the media and people like Paul Feinbaum and Colin Cowherd or whatever, for their constant barraging of you and your decisions. That's the media. They can handle it. They can handle criticism better than you can, unfortunately. It's one thing to do that. I do not understand attacking fans. I've seen other coaches do it before too, right? It's happened this year with other schools, and I'll never understand it. I won't understand when they do it, and I don't understand it when Coach Swinney does it. It's a bad look. First of all, that has already been one of the narratives surrounding the Clemson fan base over the past 10 years or so from all the other fan bases when they talk trash. Oh, he ain't nothing but a bandwagon fan. Nobody saw Clemson play before 2015. Now he's just feeding into that narrative. Thanks a lot for that, Swinney. Appreciate it. This whole me against the world thing, I understand. You grew up poor and your mom had to sleep in your bed when you went to college. And, I was a walk-on at Alabama, and then I got a job there. Then I got fired. Then I went and sold real estate. Then nobody wanted me at Clemson, but I got the job, and everybody was unhappy about it. And then I went on to win. And now that I've won, basically, you can go F yourself, is what he's telling us. That's what he's telling us. You can go F yourself. I've won 2 national championships, so kiss my you-know-what. I just dropped almost $1,000 2 days ago to come watch Clemson play Notre Dame. next month in November. How much longer do you think I'm going to continue dropping $1,000, and in some cases even more, on a year-to-year basis to go watch Dabo Swinney and Clemson Tigers when he calls out his fans and his biggest supporters? Now, unfortunately for Dabo Swinney, or maybe even fortunately, it doesn't really matter. I'm a fan of Clemson. That doesn't mean I have to be a fan of Dabo, which I always have been a fan of Dabo, and I'm still a fan of Dabo, but somebody can only spit in your face so many times before you stop taking it. And this constant back and forth with him criticizing the fans is getting really, really old. Really, really old. Really, really quickly. Not just with me either. And to all the other Clemson fans out there, listen, you don't have to agree with me. That's fine. But there is a sector of the fan base that just says, oh, would you like to go back to the late 90s and early 2000s before Dabo Swinney was head coach? Would you like to go back to that? No, I wouldn't. But when you set the standard, then there's expectations. And you don't have to be perfect. The other thing that Coach Swinney said is he goes, we got fans out here that expect to win a national championship every year, and if we don't, they're disappointed. That is like 1,000th of 1% of the fan base. That's like 3 trolls on the internet that are complaining about not winning a national championship every year. The vast majority, almost all of the fans, are happy with the current situation and winning 10 and 11 games a year. And if they're not, they're stupid. But it blows my mind that this is the angle that he takes on answering questions like this. You're not the underdog anymore, man. You're 50-something years old. You've been to the top of the mountain twice. You're revered as one of the best college football coaches of this century and still going. And there's probably a lot more success in the future for you. Stop acting like the world is against you. It's not. And neither are the fans. For the most part. If at some point Dabo Swinney leaves Clemson University and goes anywhere else, let's just say Alabama, that's his alma mater, maybe somewhere down the road, Dabo Swinney decides he's leaving Clemson, wants to go finish out his career at his alma mater at Alabama. Do you think for 1 second that just because you're an Alabama man, that you're not going to get criticized by the fans at Alabama? If you think that, then you are delusional and living in a fantasy land. So, my biggest criticism, look, I've been the biggest defender of Dabo Swinney over the years. To my own detriment, apparently. He's out here clowning me. It's unbelievable. So Dabo, tighten up. Stop playing you're not the victim. You're one of the most successful coaches in the country. Act like it. Your boy checking out.